Tuffy Marginez sent this piece of oak in a box with a couple other pieces, and the bark had come off all in one piece. So I used some Type Bond 2, put a lot of glue on both surfaces, stuck it back together, put the clamps on there, and we're going to turn that, but not today. Today I want to turn this. It's just a little thin scrap. Tuffy sends these little box stuffers along once in a while, just to challenge me, I think. What could you possibly do with that? I don't know what kind of wood it is, but I suspect it's plum. That looks like plum green in color to me. The bark also kind of looks like plum. Guess we'll find out, or we won't. Maybe Tuffy will say in the comments. I'm just gonna make a little quick change dish, I guess. Place to throw your keys, whatever. The only modification I'm gonna do to the outside edge is I think I'm gonna round over these two edges just a little bit on the bandsaw before I even get started to kind of match those two nicely rounded edges, but also just because that one's quite ragged. So I'll do that. I'll figure out how we're going to mount it, and we're just going to do a quick turning. See you at the lathe in just a minute. Now, like with all bark pieces, I'm going to use my Sandoflex to sand that bark, and I think it would be easier in this case and more thorough to do it before we start turning, because there's just not going to be much turning on it. So I'm putting a chuck in my chuck, and then I'm going to put the Sandoflex in that. And then I can sand my piece right here on the lathe before we get going. And there's the corners I rounded up just slightly. I still got, you know, this is pretty well torn up, but the Sandoflex will smooth that out, and once we get some finish on there, it'll look okay. So I'll do this for a little bit, and then we'll get it mounted up. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as we like to say here at Shady Acres Wood Shop. Howdy. I mounted a piece of plywood on a woodworm screw. On that, I mounted some double-face tape, 2 strips. I didn't put anything in the middle. I also added some hot glue just along this edge because the bottom wasn't as flat as I thought it was, and this kind of pulled away a little bit. We're going to be turning at 1500 RPM, 1/2-inch bowl gouge, mask, and face shield on. I just need to see where we are here. That's about as far out as we better come, huh? Now I have to be really careful here because this is only less than 1/8 of an inch thick. So I can't really remove any of that. I need to leave whatever I can right there, right at the bottom. But I can remove a little bit off the sides of this bark inclusion, basically is what it is if you look at it from the other side. I think that's it. Maybe I should just scrape it, huh? I think that's all we can do. Time for sanding. I'm going to be using my 2-inch disc starting at 80 grit and working up through 400. I'll have the lathe spinning forward and reverse alternating at 350 RPM. I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. And then reverse. And that's pretty easy peasy. I'm going to go ahead and finish that up through 400. I'm going to put the finish on without you seeing it, because there's just not much for me to reveal to you here. You're pretty much seeing it. So once it gets the finish on there, that'll be the big reveal, okay? I'll show you that in just a little bit. Be sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can see the before and after shots of this piece. If you'd share the video, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, here it is. One, I'm going to call it cherry plum coin dish. In the books. It's cool because you can scoop the coins right out right here. Just scoop them right on out of there. Keys, whatever. I did this just to show you that you can make anything out of practically nothing. I mean, look how thin that is. Had a little damage here. That's okay. The Sandoflex cleaned that right up, smoothed it out. Looks quite natural. I wish we could have got some of that cherry color on the inside. This is all sapwood. You can barely see the cherry color coming through in a couple of places. Not much. That would have been nice. That's what I was expecting to get to, but we just couldn't go that thin. It's pretty thin, isn't it? Pretty thin there. But it feels good. It's nice. It's smooth. Silky smooth. Okay. It's nice. It looks great, I think. Unique. You know, anybody's got a change dish, but nobody has a change dish like this. One of a kind. Make one. You can find a little scrap like this just dang near anywhere. It was fun to do. Total 5 minutes turning, I think. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Thank you, Tuffy Marginez, for sending this along for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please, I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very kindly, I truly appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. An easy way to subscribe is just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. Your comments are always welcome, and I love reading them. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.